Hello everyone. This is part 2 of the poem The Cloud. We have already discussed the first two stanzas of the poem in the earlier presentation, and here in this presentation, today we will be discussing the rest of the stanzas of the poem The Cloud, which is a lyric by the great romantic poet Shelley. Here in the third stanza, we see Shelley making use of similes. He compares the cloud to an eagle and a dove. Now, the time is the morning time, and it is the time of the sunrise. So, when the sun rises, when the sun climbs up the sky, then it appears as if it is riding on the back of the cloud. So the sanguine sunrise with his meteor eyes and his burning plumes outspread leaps on the back of my sailing rack when the morning star shines dead. Sanguine means red. So with the sunrise, uh, the sky it appears to be red. It is of crimson red color. The rays of the sun are all outspread, just like the burning feathers, and the sun it seems to be riding on the back of the cloud, leaves on the back of my sailing rack. That is, it appears as if the sun it is moving on the back of the cloud, and this is the time when the morning stars shine, when the morning star shines dead. That is, one cannot see the morning star, the morning because of the sunshine. As on the jag of a mountain crag, which an earthquake rocks and swings, an eagle alit one moment may sit in the light of its golden wings. Jag means the edge, and so here the cloud it is compared to an eagle. The cloud on the edge of the mountain, it looks like an eagle which has seated itself just for a moment on the edge of a mountain. So the cloud it is compared to a bright winged eagle. Golden wings, that is bright winged eagle. Cloud is just like a bright winged eagle sitting on the edge of a mountain, and it has seated itself just for a moment. So here we see that the poet he compares the cloud to an eagle. And when sunset may breathe from the lit sea beneath, its ardors of rest and of love, and the crimson pall of eve may fall from the depth of heaven above. With wings folded, I rest on mine airy nest as still as a brooding dove. So here he's talking about the time of sunset, and at sunset, when all things rest. That is, and when sunset may breathe from the lit sea beneath its ardors of rest and of love, and the crimson pall of eve may fall. Crimson pall of eve, that is, crimson, the dull color of evening is set. At that moment, the cloud, it appears to be like a motionless dove. That is again, he is comparing the cloud to a bird. The cloud, it seems to look like a motionless dove, which now sits with its wings folded. With wings folded, I rest on my airy nest. Now here, airy nest is the sky. So it appears as if the dove, with its wings folded, is taking rest as still as a brooding dove. Now, brooding means that the dove is meditating. So the cloud it appears to be like a dove which is sitting with its wing folded, and it appears to be meditating. In the fourth stanza, uh, we see the we see another activity of the cloud. Now here the moon is brought in. So the cloud, the moon, it moves on the floor that has been created by the cloud. So that orbed maiden with white fire laden, whom mortals call the moon. Orbed means circular. So maiden, beautiful woman. So here orbed maiden, that is the moon, that orbed maiden with white fire laden. Now, that is the moon with its white light, glides glimmering over my fleece-like floor. So the cloud, it has formed the floor for the moon, and this beautiful white moon, it glides over the surface of the cloud. Glides glimmering, shining. It is moving slowly and over my fleece-like floor. Now fleece means wool-like. So the cloud, it has formed a wool-like floor for the moon, and the moon, it walks on that floor. It seems to be gliding slowly on that floor. And when the midnight breezes have started blowing, then wherever the beat of her unseen feet, now here her stands for the moon. So the floor, the floor that has been formed by the cloud, now that floor, it appears as if it is being broken. It is being broken by the feet of the moon as the moon is gliding. So the unseen feet are the feet of the moon. So wherever the beat of her unseen feet, which only the angels hear, may have broken the woof of my tent's thin roof. So the floor that has been formed by the cloud, it is broken. It is broken by the unseen feet of the moon, and because of that gaps are formed, and through these gaps or openings the stars peep below. The stars peep behind her and peer. So the stars, they are peeping in. They are peeping in these gaps and openings. And sometimes what happens? These openings become wider. And I laugh to see them whirl and flee like a swarm of golden bees. Again, there is a use of simile here. The group of stars are compared to the group of bees. So whenever there is some kind of movement, then what can be seen? The stars can be seen. The twinkling of the stars can be seen. When I widen the rent in my windmill tent till the calm rivers, lakes and seas, like strips of the sky fallen through me on high, are each paved with the moon and these. Now sometimes what happens? Sometimes these openings become wider. When I widen the rent in my windmill tent, so when the gaps are widened, and the stars are seen. They are seen in what? They are seen in the rivers, lakes, and seas. That is, the reflection of the moon and the stars can be seen down in the rivers, lakes, and sea, and it appears as if the strips of the sky has fallen on earth. So the picture of the moon, it is here compared to a beautiful maiden, and the stars, they are compared to a swarm of golden bees. Now, in the fifth stanza, the cloud describes the way in which it binds the sun's throne as well as the moon's throne. I bind the sun's throne with a burning zone and the moon's with a girdle of pearl. So the cloud, it says that it covers the sun's throne with a bright circle, and it also creates a circle of pearls, a girdle of pearls, a circle of pearls around the moon's throne. And the volcanoes are dim and the stars reel and swim when the whirlwind's banner unfurl. That is, when the stormy winds blow, then its banner, the banner of the cloud, it is unfurled, and this makes the bright volcanoes dim and the stars spin and swim. From cape to cape with a bridge-like shape over a torrent sea, sunbeam-proof, I hang like a roof, the mountain its columns be. So the cloud, it forms a roof. It forms a roof over the torrent sea, that is over the strong sea, from cape to cape, that is from one end to the other, with a bridge-like shape. It forms a bridge from one end to the other over a torrential sea, over a torrent sea. And sunbeam proof, I hang like a roof. So the cloud, it becomes a roof. It hangs like a roof over this sea, and it becomes a sunbeam proof for the sea. That is, it protects the sea from the heat of the sun. And the mountains, the cloud, it is forming the roof, and the mountains, they become its pillars. So the roof is formed, and the cloud, it becomes the roof for the sea, and the mountains, they become the pillars. The triumphal arch through which I march with hurricane fire and snow, when the powers of the air are chained to my chair, is the million-colored bow. Now the triumphal arch here is the multicolored rainbow. So the multicolored rainbow, it forms a triumphal arch, and through this arch the cloud marches, through which I march. That is, through this arch the cloud marches, and it marches and when the cloud marches, it is attended by the hurricane, fire, and snow, and it is pushed by the stormy breeze. The sphere fire above its soft colors wove, while the moist earth was laughing below. So this is the time when it rains, and here the cloud changes its form, and when the cloud changes its form, the sphere fire above. Now the sphere fire is the sun that is above. The soft colors are woven, and the earth that is below, it seems to be laughing. It is raining, and the earth seems to be laughing below. Now in the last stanza, the cloud, it talks about its origin. So the cloud, it regards earth and water as its parents and the sky as its nurse. I am the daughter of earth and water and the nursling of the sky. So the cloud, it considers the earth and water, it considers itself to be the daughter of earth and water, and the sky is its nurse. I pass through the pores of the ocean and shore. I change, but I cannot die. So it passes through the holes in the oceans and the shores, and it changes, but it does not die. It changes, but it does not die. So the cloud, the form of the cloud changes, but it does not die. For after the rain, when with never a stain, the pavilion of heaven is there. Now the pavilion of heaven is the sky. So after the rain, when the sky is bare, that is, when there is no cloud in the sky, when the sky is bare, and the winds and sunbeams with the convex gleams build up the blue dome of air. It appears as if the blue dome here is the sky. So the blue dome of air is built after after it has rained. The sky becomes bare, and this bare sky, it seems to be the cenotaph for the cloud. Now, the cenotaph is what? The cenotaph means a monument to the dead. The cenotaph is a monument to the dead. So the sky, it acts as a tomb. It acts as a cenotaph for the cloud. The cloud, after the rain, it appears as if the cloud is dead, and the bare sky, it acts as a cenotaph. But the cloud, it laughs at its own cenotaph. The cloud, it appears to laugh at its own cenotaph. And out of the caverns of rain, like a child from the womb, like a ghost from the tomb, I arise and unbuild it again. So the cloud, the cloud is built, and the cloud, it silently laughs at its own death, and it emerges once again. The cloud, it rises once again, and it is formed once again, just like a child from the womb, just as like a child from the womb, and just like a ghost appears from the tomb, the cloud is again seen in the sky. So the cloud again can be seen in the sky. It arises and it unbuilds its own tomb. It unbuilds its own tomb. Now the clouds can be seen in the sky, and when the clouds are seen in the sky again, then it appears as if as if the cenotaph is no more. That is, the cloud, it laughs at its own cenotaph. Now, because the cloud never dies, it only changes its form. So here, the main point about the poem is that the cloud, it changes its form, but it is the same essence of life, growth, and change in the nature. That is, the cloud, it is a metaphor for the never-ending cycle of transformation and change in nature. So the cloud is a beautiful lyric which symbolizes transformation and change, and the poet uses a number of literary devices here. The cloud is personified throughout the poem. So personification, as explained earlier also, personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects and abstract concept. So here the cloud is personified, and Shelley gives a human form to the cloud. Now, for example, I bring fresh showers for the thirsting flowers. I am the daughter of earth and water, and so on. Then Shelley also makes use of a number of similes here. For example, the cloud is compared to an eagle with golden wings, as well as to a brooding dove, and the group of stars are compared to a swarm of golden bees. And again, there is a simile in the last stanza, like a child from the womb and like a ghost from the tomb. Also, we see that there is internal rhyme in the lines. For example, showers and flowers, seas and streams. So, this lends beauty to the poem, and the sound devices used in the poem are alliteration and assonance. For example, the sound of G and F, G and F in, it would be the sound of um, G in and F in, glides glimmering over my fleece-like floor. And again, example of alliteration is the sanguine sunrise with his meteor eyes. Then also there is alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sounds, and there are also examples of assonance, that is the repetition of the vowel sounds in the same line. For example, and their great pines groan aghast, and so on. So these are the literary devices that the poet uses in the poem, and we can say that the major themes in the cloud are uh, joy, and natural beauty. So, this is one of the finest lyrics by the great romantic poet Shelley.